Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how I built my property portfolio whilst working a full-time job. So let's get into it. So for my first investment property, I started saving during COVID. So when COVID struck, there wasn't many places that I could go. And at the time, and for a period of 4 to 5 months, I was actually living back at home in London with family. So although I was covering the mortgage costs for this property that I live in here, there wasn't really much other expenditure that I had. And whereas I was also working from home, I was able to save extremely aggressively for that time period. I then also pulled out equity from the property that I live in here, which coupled together enabled me to have a substantial amount of funds to then put into my first investment property. So it was a combination of actually not going out really much, and there wasn't really an ability to do that, and then also releasing equity from my property that put me in a position to then buy my first buy-to-let. Now, from there, I was able to scale quite quickly while still having a full-time job. What I would do is go to networking events after work, and I would attend multiple of these events and continue to every single month. So I was making sure that outside of my working hours, I was being productive. In addition to doing that, I was also connecting with people and then learning about other strategies as well. Now, when going to view properties, I was again doing it outside of work hours. A lot of times actually doing it on the weekends, especially where after my first buy-to-let, I was looking at multi-unit deals outside of the southeast, so more in the northern region of the country. So due to this, I had to ensure that I was using my weekends very productively. On a lot of Saturdays, I would go up to view in cities like Hull, Doncaster, Halifax, Leeds, and from that, then get a better understanding of what it is I'm actually looking for as well. I want to also talk about time management hacks as well. So for me, working a full-time job and investing in property and having a property business is super crucial for me to be able to maximize my time and ensure that I'm using every hour of the day productively. So I'll always ensure that my 9 to 5, I'm doing the work then. During the lunch hour, I'll actually use that to quickly have some food, but then also maybe go on Rightmove, call a few estate agents and make some inquiries. So I'm ensuring that that lunch hour is being used a lot of times for property. And in the evening, I will combine this with, again, looking at properties on Rightmove, and then also actually looking at content ideas for either Instagram or YouTube as well. What I also have as well is a daily, weekly, monthly task list that I'm always working towards. And this is actually based on the bigger goals that I set for the year. It enables me to have a focus and have an understanding of what it is I need to actually achieve every single week, the tasks that I need to be completing as time goes on. So understanding where your time is going to be super important if you are working a full-time job and you're in property as well. Lastly, I want to talk about what I would have done differently if I started all over again. So a lot of how I've been able to scale has been from releasing equity from my first property and using that to buy the 5 buy-to-lets that I have. However, what I would do differently is I would have not overpaid on my mortgage initially. So for some people, they want their mortgage cleared as soon as possible, and I've got no problem with that. For me, I'd rather leverage the debt to then actually buy more assets. Now, initially, for the first 2 years of having this property, I was overpaying on it substantially. Looking back, I would have rather saved that money and then potentially been able to get buy-to-let a lot sooner, and that would have accelerated my property investment journey. I would have also started going to networking events as soon as I got this first property here. However, again, it took me 2 years from actually being here in Kent to actually go to my first networking event. And even still after that, I wasn't really going to many at all. It was only after I was actually in the process of buying my first buy-to-let in 2022 that I started aggressively going to networking events. So again, if I had built connections a lot sooner, again, I would have potentially been further ahead in my property journey. The last thing I'll do is assemble my power team quicker. It took a lot of trial and error to actually find a good team to work with. So now I have a solid mortgage broker. There's solicitors that I tend to use. I have mentors I go to as well for advice. And I also have tradesmen in the area. If there's anything that's needed, especially in Kent, I can reach out to them for their assistance. This took a longer while than it needed to. If I had networked more effectively sooner, I could have built a power team a lot quicker. And having a good power team is so important because it will enable you to actually move more efficiently when purchasing properties, when looking for properties. So I hope you gain a little bit of understanding of how you can actually build your property portfolio whilst having a full-time job. So if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like. And if you found value from this video or any other video on this channel, then do subscribe as well. And until next time, happy investing.